nerds.
Hello, nerds.
Jonathan Herzog, my friend. Last time we had you on the show, it was a very different time in the Yang 2020 campaign.
Indeed. Oh goodness, what
And
a couple months it's been.
I know. And you saw, I guess, what was that? That must have been a pretty tough night for you, because you probably were up in New Hampshire, or you were at least in New England.
Yeah, we went from Iowa to New Hampshire. We just went back to back. It was painful. It was devastating. It was just shocking. It all kind of happened so quickly, but I feel like we kind of went through all the stages of denial and grief, and then resilience and rebuilding and recognizing that this was really just the beginning. So it's
and
true.
Now the fight goes on the streets of the Upper West Side.
Yes, indeed. Here we are.
So when we were talking, you were saying, hey, I'm focused on Andrew's campaign. Of course, I'm running. There'll be a time for me to talk more about that and focus more of my efforts there. And it sounds like that time has come.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But this is the time to really dive deep and down ballot efforts and get some wins on the board. Show that Yang Gang is here to win, not just drive a conversation forward, but really get these policies across the finish line. So we're on the streets, we're doing signature gathering, and we are on our way to getting on the ballot and getting this election in the bag.
So how close are you with the required number of signatures?
Yeah, so we actually, we just certified the legal minimum yesterday. And so we are about 40% of the way there. And we have about 2.5, 3 more weeks. So we're going to do it. It's going to be a lot more hard work out in the streets, but we're going to get it done. So
when you said you had the legal minimum, how do I reconcile that with that you also said like you've got 40% done? Like what's the game plan?
Totally. So I'll give you an example. So when we did this for Yang back in December, January, New York has all these prickly rules. And so there's a legal minimum threshold in the presidential case of like 5,000 signatures, right? And then there was presidential and delegate signatures and so on. But because there's all these lawyers and they like to go through the signatures and check the dates and challenge you and all sorts of fishy things, we actually collected 40,000 signatures for Andrew across the entire state for our delegate slates in every of the 27 districts and for Andrew. So for the congressional, we're collecting 5,000 just in one of the districts, which is the 10th district where we're running.
Got it.
So it's just New York politics being New York politics.
So you're basically going to pile on more than you need just in case people challenge some of the signatures. Is that to have buffer or something, or?
Exactly. Yeah. So we have people and passion, and other folks have money, and what that money is spent on sometimes is challenging challengers who are trying to get on the ballot. That way they don't actually have to face a competitor in the primary election.
Got it. And so what's your main campaign message these days? What are you focusing on in terms of conversations with voters?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same stuff, really. I mean, like, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Like, we have the vision, we have the blueprint. People get it. Actually, one of the most common things you'll hear here in New York, because we're on the West Side, is everyone has all this buzz around Andrew being mayor of New York. And so he's actually on the petitions himself in the vacancy committee, which means like if I die or something, he gets to be it. And so they're always like, oh, like, you know, tell Andrew he's got to run for mayor. So it's the same message. It's just communicating it to a very different demographic here in the city.
So you mentioned that other people running for Congress in this district have a little more resources than you might have in terms of the dollars and cents. Like, how big of a difference is this? Like a David Goliath thing, or are you just like a little bit behind? What's it like?
Yeah, so, you know, it's interesting. There actually are some parallels just in the data. If you looked at the 2018 New York 14 district, and so that was the famous Alexandria race. And so there's some similarities in, we both have about 720,000 people in the district, but only 3% of people vote in the primary because it's in the middle of June. It's 3 months after the presidential election. And we have a multi-decade incumbent who's never faced a serious primary challenge. In our case, the #2 Democrat in the House. And in Alexandria's case, she was outspent 10-1.
Yeah.
Crowley had $3 million from corporate PACs and lobbyists and all sorts of groups. And she actually only had a surge at the end from May to June. That's when she raised the bulk of her ceiling of $300,000. That was it. Because the margins in these races, she won by 4,000 votes. And that's what gives you the seat, because only 30,000 people vote in the primary altogether.
Yeah.
So that when you get that tiny margin, you get 2% of the vote, you win the congressional seat. Because in the fall, whoever has the D next to their name gets 80% of the vote.
Right.
That's the madness.
That is so nuts. So she won with 300 grand. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yep. This is the craziness.
You're talking about the AOC.
Yes.
Like the international figure that she is now, got there with 300. Well, so what?
And that was only literally the last month. That's when all the money came in.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, maybe we can get you your 300 before the last month. What is how much are you looking to raise? Like, do you have any goals coming up?
Yeah. So our target that it has been extended to tomorrow is to hit our 10K, and we are almost there. But the goal here is to get on the ballot and stay on the ballot. And again, it's just because of those challenges from the incumbents, and that's why we're hitting that $10,000 fundraising target by tomorrow, so that we have the funds to get on the ballot and stay on it. Because that is the real hurdle in this race. If you get on the ballot in New York 10, that is a story in and of itself.
Really?
People have spent up to $500,000 running over years not being able to make the ballot because they don't have the passion and the grassroots team on the ground that the Yang Gang has.
Yeah. All right. So you're trying. How close are you to the 10,000?
Yeah. So we are 60% of the way there.
You're 60%. And then where do is it? They go to Herzog 2020. Is that where they do it? Yeah.
So it's on, if you're on Twitter, it's on Twitter, but also Herzog2020.com has the links there. Anywhere on the internet.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to Herzog 2020.
On the top right.
So I click on here.
Yes.
I see. Oh, look, it's got my credit card. How about we'll just 18. Let's do a lucky number.
Yes.
I'm not going to leave a tip because I have.
Oh yeah, don't leave that for Apple. That's okay.
I have misgivings about the Democratic Party, but I'm gonna. Let's see. It says thank you for your patience. Uh-oh. Maybe you're getting so much money. There you go. That's how easy it was.
Oops. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So everybody that's watching this now or on replay later, that's all you need to do. You just go to Herzog 2020, click a couple buttons, and hook a brother up. And hope. What are you going to do with some of this money, Jonathan? Like, where does it go?
Yeah, so literally...
I should have asked you that before I donated just now. But.
Totally, yeah. So you can see what I'm holding. I don't want to show all the addresses, but I have papers, legal size petitions, I have clipboards, I have these snazzy business cards, and so it goes into getting this to all the folks who are gathering all around here. And then also... to stay on the ballot. So it's actually like a legal process that we file with the Board of Elections. And if they challenge our petitions, they take us to court.
So who's going to challenge? Who's going to challenge your petitions? Is it the incumbent? Is that basically how it works?
It's basically anyone who has, the way and the will. Actually, anyone literally can say, oh, this signature doesn't look good, or that date doesn't look good, or you didn't initial this. So yeah, anyone who wants to.
That's so nuts. It seems so undemocratic with a lowercase d. Like, why would you want people off the ballot? Why would you want to take away choice?
Yeah, that's a great question, my friend.
Welcome to America. All right. So, Jonathan, I know we caught you while you're out there on the road knocking on doors. So I want to let you get back to the good work with your local future constituents, hopefully. And I think we're going to have a longer conversation in the future when we get you back on the show. So everybody just consider this a little bit of a amuse-bouche for Mr. Herzog. And don't forget to donate to his campaign. And Jonathan, give him hell out there. Right, buddy?
I love you, man. I so appreciate it. And the one thing I'll say, we need Freedom Democrats running in districts across the country. There are primaries that are still coming up in September and October. And if you're in one of those districts, we need you to run. The Yang Gang has to put wins up on the board, because when Justice Democrats, when Bernie-crats run against challengers, they are quaking. They are so scared. We saw like Jessica Cisneros out in Texas. She narrowly lost 52-48, but they are paying attention. When they run candidates, they are paying attention. And so we got to be the same. We can do this. And that's just a Yang Gang across the country. There is nothing stopping you. The most unlikely candidate of all was this random guy named Andrew Yang. And look where we got him.
Indeed. Well, when we get you back on the show, Jonathan, we're going to have to get your tips for folks who are thinking about it, if not this cycle, in the future, what they should think about and how they should sort of plot their moves, because you guys out there that are running for office, under the Humanity Forward effort, you guys are the wave, man. You're making it happen.
We all are.
Amen, brother. See you later.
All right. Take care.
Goodbye, nerds.
Goodbye, nerds.